Commander Lisa Powell took a deep breath as she stood before the massive doors of the Galactic Council chambers. The blue light from the nearby nebula filtered through the crystal windows, casting strange shadows across her face. This meeting would decide the future of humanity among the stars. "Ready, Commander?" asked her assistant, Ryan Garcia, adjusting his uniform. "As ready as I'll ever be," Lisa replied, straightening her shoulders. The doors slid open with a soft hiss. Inside, 17 different alien species sat in a semicircle around a central speaking platform. Some looked almost human, while others were barely recognizable as living beings. The auxiliary representative, with his 6 eyes and metallic skin, watched Lisa with particular interest. Lisa walked confidently to the center of the room. For 3 years, she had worked toward this moment, a formal peace treaty between Earth and the Galactic Council. Humanity was the newest species to achieve faster-than-light travel, and their rapid technological growth had made many in the Council nervous. "Representatives of the Galactic Council," Lisa began, her voice steady. "On behalf of Earth and all human colonies, I thank you for this opportunity. Today marks a historic." Enough of this pretense. The auxiliary representative suddenly stood, his voice translator making his words sound harsh and metallic. "We have evidence that humans are not the peaceful explorers they claim to be." A murmur went through the chamber. Lisa felt her stomach tighten. "What are you talking about?" she asked. The auxiliary pressed a button, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed human ships, military vessels, and what appeared to be weapons tests in an asteroid field. "These images were taken 3 standard cycles ago in the Proxima system," said the auxiliary. "Your people are developing weapons that violate Council regulations." Lisa stared at the images in shock. "That's impossible. We have no such program." "Are you calling me a liar?" The auxiliary's 6 eyes blinked in sequence, a sign of anger in their species. The Volith representative, a being made mostly of what looked like blue smoke, floated forward. "We have also noticed your kind studying our shield technology with unusual interest." "For scientific purposes only," Lisa protested, but she could see the mood in the room shifting. One by one, other representatives added their concerns. Human expansion was too rapid. Earth ships had been spotted in restricted zones. Human biology made them unusually adaptable and potentially dangerous. Lisa tried to address each point, but the accusations came too quickly. The meeting was spiraling out of control. "I propose we postpone Earth's membership application indefinitely," said the auxiliary. "And I further suggest we establish a containment zone around human space." Containment. Lisa couldn't believe what she was hearing. That's just another word for quarantine. You can't isolate an entire species. The council leader, an ancient being from a race called the Elnar, raised his hand for silence. "We will vote on the proposal." Lisa watched in horror as the vote was taken. 14 species voted for containment. Only 3 voted against it. "The decision is made," said the Elnar leader. "Human ships will be restricted to their own systems until further notice." "This is a mistake," Lisa said, her voice shaking now. "Earth came here in good faith. If you treat us like enemies, you'll only create the very problem you fear." "The Council has spoken," the auxiliary said, satisfaction clear in his voice. "You and your delegation will be escorted back to your ship immediately." As guards approached, Lisa's communication device vibrated. She glanced down at the encrypted message from Admiral Jack Wilson. "Operation Last Stand is now in effect. Return to Earth immediately." Lisa felt cold fear in her chest. Operation Last Stand was the emergency protocol developed in case diplomatic relations collapsed completely. It meant Earth's intelligence services had detected signs of an imminent threat. As they were led from the chamber, Ryan leaned close. "What do we do now?" Lisa looked back at the council, at the hostile faces of beings who had just labeled her entire species as dangerous. "We go home," she said quietly, "and we prepare." She knew in her heart that this wasn't just a diplomatic failure. it was the beginning of something much worse. The journey back to Earth took 3 days. Lisa spent most of it staring at the stars, wondering how everything had gone so wrong. Their ship, the ESS Horizon, traveled through the quiet emptiness of space while the crew worked in tense silence. When they finally reached Earth, there was no usual docking procedure. Instead, a military shuttle met them and took Lisa directly to an underground facility beneath the Rocky Mountains. The elevator descended for nearly 2 minutes before the doors opened. Lisa stepped out into a busy command center filled with screens and military personnel. At the center of the room stood Defense Secretary Greg Mason, a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. "Commander Powell," he said, extending his hand. "I wish we were meeting under better circumstances." "What's happening, sir?" Lisa asked. "Why was Operation Last Stand activated?" "Follow me," he said simply. He led her to a smaller room where a man in a plain black uniform waited. He had dark circles under his eyes, like he hadn't slept in days. "This is Ben Carter, one of our top intelligence officers," Mason explained. Ben nodded to Lisa. "Commander, what I'm about to show you explains why your peace talks were doomed from the start." He touched a screen, and a video appeared. It showed Silari ships near an asteroid field. "This is the Proxima system. 3 weeks ago," Ben said. "Watch carefully." Lisa leaned closer. The video showed Silari soldiers placing what looked like human equipment on the asteroids. Then they set up cameras. "They staged it," Lisa whispered. "The evidence they showed at the council. They faked the whole thing." Ben nodded grimly. "That's not all. For the past 6 months, we've detected unusual activity near all our borders." More images appeared on the screen. Ships gathering, weapons being moved, communications between species that normally didn't get along. 8 major alien factions have been building up forces near human space, Ben continued. The Xilari, the Voloth, the Krell, all the ones who voted against us. "But why?" Lisa asked. "We've done nothing to threaten them." Greg Mason sighed heavily. "It's not what we've done. It's what they think we might do." He brought up another file, a classified Galactic Council assessment of humanity. Lisa read it with growing alarm. The report described humans as dangerously adaptive and possessing unprecedented technological growth rates. It predicted that without intervention, humans would surpass the current dominant species in less than a century. "They're afraid of us," Lisa realized, "not because of what we are now, but because of what we might become." "Exactly," said Ben. "The peace talks were never real. They were buying time while they prepared." "Prepared for what?" Lisa asked, though she feared she already knew the answer. "War," Greg said simply. "They're planning a coordinated attack on all human colonies and Earth itself." Lisa felt like the floor was dropping beneath her. "When?" "Based on their current movements and supply lines, we estimate 3 weeks, maybe less," Ben said. Lisa looked at the displays around the room showing Earth's defenses. Good, but nowhere near enough to face multiple alien fleets at once. "What's our plan?" she asked. Greg touched a screen, showing a map of human space. "We've already started evacuating the outer colonies. We're bringing our ships back to defend Earth and Mars." "That's not a plan for victory," Lisa pointed out. "That's a plan for survival." Greg's face was grim. "For now, survival is the best we can hope for. Humanity is still technologically outmatched, despite our advances." Ben cleared his throat. "There is one other option." "Sir." Greg hesitated, then nodded. "Show her." Ben brought up an image of Mars, zooming in on what looked like an ordinary research station. "Commander Powell, have you ever heard of Project Sentinel?" Lisa shook her head. "It's time you did," Greg said, "because right now it might be humanity's only hope." He brought up a secure line. "Get Chief Scientist Olivia Reed on the comm. Tell her we're coming to Mars, and tell her to prepare a full demonstration of Sentinel." As they moved to leave the room, Lisa glanced back at the screens showing alien fleets moving steadily closer to human space. "How did we miss this?" she asked quietly. "We didn't," Greg replied. "We just hoped we were wrong." The trip to Mars took just under a day on the military transport. Lisa spent the time studying everything she could about the Red Planet's research facilities, but found no mention of anything called Project Sentinel. When they landed, a small team met them at the dock. The leader was Chief Scientist Olivia Reed, a woman with short gray hair and sharp eyes that missed nothing. "Secretary Mason," she said with a nod. "Commander Powell, welcome to Mars Research Station Alpha." "Thank you for meeting us on such short notice," Greg replied. "Given the circumstances, I'm surprised you didn't come sooner," Olivia said. She looked at Lisa. "I've read your reports from the Council. Not surprising, but disappointing nonetheless." They boarded a transport that took them across the Martian surface. Through the windows, Lisa could see the massive domes that housed the main colony. Nearly 1 million people lived on Mars now. "Is Project Sentinel inside the colony?" Lisa asked. Olivia shook her head. "No, it's elsewhere." The transport veered away from the domes, heading toward a mountain range in the distance. After 20 minutes, they approached what looked like a simple mining operation built into the side of a cliff. "This is it?" Greg asked, sounding surprised. "The best hiding place is often in plain sight," Olivia replied as they stopped. "This facility is listed as a standard iron extraction operation. Even most of the people who work here think that's all it is." They entered through heavy doors and took an elevator that descended deep into the Martian crust. When the doors opened, Lisa gasped. They stood at the edge of an enormous underground chamber, easily a mile across. In the center sat what looked like a massive ring, surrounded by equipment and bustling with workers. "What is that?" Lisa asked. "That," Olivia said with pride in her voice, "is Project Sentinel, humanity's secret weapon." As they walked along a catwalk toward the center, Olivia explained, 5 years ago, we recovered a damaged alien ship from an unregistered species. The technology was unlike anything in the Galactic Council records. You kept this from the Council?" Lisa asked. "We had to," Greg cut in. "The treaty we signed when we joined said all recovered technology had to be turned over, but our scientists saw the potential immediately." They reached a platform overlooking the main device. Up close, Lisa could see that the ring was made of a strange dark metal that seemed to absorb light. "Project Sentinel is a defensive system," Olivia explained. "It creates an energy field that can neutralize most known alien weapons. Nothing like it exists in Council space." "How does it work?" Lisa asked. "It creates a phase shift in the fabric of space itself around whatever we're protecting," Olivia said. "Energy weapons disperse harmlessly. Physical projectiles are slowed or deflected." Lisa stared at the device with new hope. This could protect Earth. "Yes," Olivia agreed, "but there are 2 problems." She pointed to a display showing Earth and its colonies spread across several star systems. "First, Sentinel can only protect Earth itself, not the outer colonies. The energy requirements are too great to cover more than one planet." "And the second problem?" Greg asked. "It's never been tested at full scale," Olivia admitted. "We've run simulations and small-scale tests, but deploying it to shield an entire planet, that's never been done." "How long would it take to get it to Earth and set it up?" Lisa asked. 2 weeks, minimum," Olivia said. "And that's if everything goes perfectly." Greg's face grew grim. "The alien fleets will be here in 3 weeks, possibly less." "Then we have no time to waste," Lisa said. As they spoke, an officer rushed onto the platform. "Secretary Mason, we have an urgent message from the outer colonies." He handed Greg a tablet. As Greg read it, his face paled. "What is it?" Lisa asked. "It's New Terra," Greg said quietly. "The auxiliary fleet just entered the system. They're attacking now." Lisa looked back at the massive ring of Project Sentinel. "Can we get this working in time?" "We have to," Olivia said firmly. "It's humanity's only chance." Outside the facility, high above Mars, a small ship with no markings watched silently. Inside, a being that was neither human nor from any known council species observed the activity below. With a flicker of movement, it sent a message to its kind. The message contained a single word: begin. Frank Harris stood on the observation deck of New Terra's main colony dome. Through the thick glass, he watched as the sky filled with Silari warships. Their sleek, metallic hulls reflected the light from New Terra's sun. "Administrator Harris, evacuation ships are ready," said his assistant, Kelly Wright. Her face was pale but determined. "How many can we get out?" Frank asked, not taking his eyes off the alien ships. "Maybe 60% of the population, if we pack the ships beyond safety limits." Frank nodded. "Do it. Priority to children and essential personnel." Alarms blared throughout the colony as people rushed to the spaceports. Frank stayed at his post, coordinating the evacuation. New Terra was humanity's largest outer colony, home to over 2 million people. Losing it would be devastating. The first Silari shots hit the colony's shields, making the dome vibrate. The shields were designed to protect against meteors and radiation, not military weapons. "Shield at 50%, a technician called out. "How long until the evacuation ships are clear?" Frank asked. "First wave launching now. 20 minutes until the last ships can take off." The shields flickered as another barrage hit them. Frank knew they wouldn't last 20 minutes. "Divert power from the eastern sectors to the shields," he ordered, "and send all security forces to protect the evacuation routes." On his screens, Frank could see the first ships breaking away from the colony, racing toward the jump point that would take them to Earth. The auxiliary ships let them pass, focusing their fire on the colony itself. "That's strange," Frank muttered. "They're not targeting the evacuation ships." "Maybe they're just interested in the colony," Kelly suggested. The shields failed with a final surge of energy. Frank expected the auxiliary to open fire directly on the colony, but instead, landing craft appeared, heading toward the main airlocks. "They're boarding us," Frank realized with shock. "They want to take the colony, not destroy it." "Why?" Kelly asked. Before Frank could answer, his secure line beeped. It was a direct call from Earth Command. "Administrator Harris, this is Defense Secretary Mason. What's your status?" "Under heavy attack," Frank reported. "Shields down, evacuation in progress. The auxiliary are attempting to board the colony." There was a pause. "Harris, listen carefully. Our intelligence suggests they're taking prisoners. Do not, I repeat, do not allow yourself to be captured. We have reason to believe they're planning interrogation of key personnel." Frank felt cold sweat on his forehead. "Understood, sir. Any other orders?" "Activate Protocol Scorched Earth if capture is imminent." Frank closed his eyes briefly. Protocol Scorched Earth meant destroying all advanced technology and research data, and potentially the colony itself, to keep it from enemy hands. "Yes, sir," he said quietly. As Frank ended the call, the first explosions rocked the lower levels. Security reported auxiliary troops entering through multiple airlocks. "Kelly, get to evacuation ship Delta. It's the last one," Frank ordered. "What about you?" she asked. Frank handed her a data chip. "Give this to command. It contains all our research files. Now go." After Kelly left, Frank locked the door and turned to his computer. He entered his highest security clearance and activated Protocol Scorched Earth with a 30-minute timer. That would give the last ships time to get clear. Then he opened a secret compartment in his desk and removed a small device. It was a prototype communication tool that could penetrate the auxiliary jamming signals. He sent a quick message to Earth. "They're taking prisoners. Not just killing. There's a purpose to this attack." As the first sounds of auxiliary troops reached his door, Frank looked out one last time at the colony he had helped build. 200,000 people would be left behind, himself included. He hoped the information he'd sent would help Earth understand what they were truly facing. The door exploded inward. Frank stood tall as the auxiliary soldiers entered, their weapons aimed at him. Administrator Frank Harris, the lead auxiliary, said in halting English, "You will come with us." Back on Earth, Lisa Powell read Frank's final message with growing horror. "They're taking prisoners," she whispered. Greg Mason nodded grimly. "And now we know why. Intercepted communications suggest this isn't just about conquest." "What do you mean?" Lisa asked. "They're not planning to subjugate us," Greg said. "According to our intelligence, they're planning extinction." The mood in Earth's military headquarters was dark. Reports came in hourly of more colonies under attack. The outer settlements had minimal defenses, and evacuation ships couldn't reach them all in time. Lisa sat in on a strategy meeting with Earth's top military leaders. Admiral Samantha Reeves, head of Earth's Space Forces, pointed to a holographic map showing the advancing alien fleets. "At current speeds, the main force will reach Earth in 17 days, she said. "We've recalled all available ships to form a defensive line, but we're outnumbered at least 5 to 1. No one spoke for a moment. The odds seemed impossible. "What about Project Sentinel?" asked General Pete Lawson. "Mason says it could shield the planet." "Dr. Reed reports they're working around the clock to get it ready," Lisa said. "But even with Sentinel, we can't just hide forever. We need a way to fight back." The meeting was interrupted when a junior officer rushed in. "Admiral Reeves, we're picking up an unusual signal." "It's not from any known council species." Samantha frowned. "Put it through." The main screen flickered, and an image appeared. The being on screen was unlike any alien Lisa had seen before. It had silvery skin that seemed to flow like liquid and large, completely black eyes. "People of Earth," the being said, its voice melodic and strange, "I am Ilara of the Meridian. We wish to speak with your leaders." The room erupted in whispers. The Meridian were almost mythical, a species that had been observing council affairs for centuries, but rarely interacted with anyone. "I am Admiral Samantha Reeves of Earth," Samantha said, stepping forward. "Why do you contact us now?" "We have been watching your species with interest," Ilara replied. "The Council's fear of you is unwarranted. We believe their actions are based on poor judgment." "Can you help us?" Samantha asked directly. The Meridian's expression was hard to read. Direct intervention would trigger a larger conflict that would benefit no one. However, we can provide certain assistance. "What kind of assistance?" Lisa asked, stepping forward. "Information about your attackers." "And this." The screen split to show technical diagrams. "These are blueprints that could enhance your defensive capabilities." The scientists in the room gasped as they looked at the designs. "This technology is far beyond anything the Council has," one of them said. "It could make Project Sentinel 10 times more effective." "There is a condition," Ilara continued. "The technology requires a rare element called Cynthium. It cannot be synthesized, only found naturally." "Where can we find it?" Samantha asked. "The nearest source is in the Cygnus system," Ilara said. "Unfortunately, it lies in disputed territory, claimed by both the Krell and the Volov." Lisa felt her heart sink. Both species were part of the alliance against Earth. Sending a ship there would be extremely dangerous. "We need that element," Samantha said firmly. "We'll find a way to get it." After the Meridian ended the transmission, the room buzzed with both hope and concern. "We need a small, fast ship," Samantha said. "Something that can slip past enemy patrols." "The Raven could do it," suggested Commander Alan Diaz, who had been quiet until now. He was the head of Special Operations, known for impossible missions. "She's our newest stealth vessel. If anyone can get in and out of Krell-Volov space, it's her." "It would be a suicide mission," General Lawson pointed out. "Not if I'm commanding," Alan replied with quiet confidence. Samantha studied him for a moment, then nodded. Assemble your best crew. You leave in 6 hours. As the meeting broke up, Lisa caught up with Alan in the hallway. Why would the Meridian help us now? She asked. They've never gotten involved in council conflicts before. Alan considered this. Maybe they see something in us worth saving. Or maybe they have their own reasons, Lisa said. Either way, we need that element. Alan nodded. We'll get it. Back in her quarters, Lisa reviewed the Meridian's information about the alien fleet. It was detailed and potentially game-changing. Fleet positions, vulnerabilities, even internal tensions between the allied species. An idea began to form in her mind. Earth couldn't win in a direct fight, but perhaps they didn't need to. If they could exploit the divisions among their enemies. She quickly sent a message requesting another meeting with Admiral Reeves and the strategy team. They couldn't just wait for Alan's mission and Project Sentinel. They needed a counter-strategy, and Lisa thought she knew what it might be. As Earth prepared for the coming battle, the stars seemed darker than before. But for the first time since the peace talks collapsed, there was a flicker of hope. Commander Alan Diaz watched the stars through the viewport of the Raven. The stealth ship moved silently through space, its special hull-absorbing sensor scans instead of reflecting them. His crew of 12 was the best Earth had to offer. Pilots, engineers, and Special Forces soldiers. Entering the Cygnus system, reported Zoe Mitchell, the pilot. Her hands moved quickly over the controls. Sensors detect multiple Krell patrol ships ahead. Maintain stealth protocols, Alan ordered. Take us in on the planned route. The Raven slipped past the alien patrols, moving through the shadow of a gas giant to hide their heat signature. According to the Meridian's information, the Cynthium they needed was on the 4th moon of the system's 2nd planet. Meanwhile, on Earth, Lisa Powell stood before the combined military leadership. Behind her, a large screen showed the known positions of the enemy fleets. A direct confrontation would be disastrous, she said. But the Meridian data reveals something interesting. The alliance against us isn't as strong as it appears. She highlighted several sections of the data. The Xilari and the Volith have a history of territorial disputes. The Krell joined mainly because they fear the Xilari would turn on them if they didn't. And 3 other species are only participating because they were threatened. Admiral Reeves leaned forward. What are you suggesting? Psychological warfare, Lisa replied. We use targeted leaks of information to create distrust among them. We make each species think the others have secret plans that threaten their interests. Will that be enough to break their alliance? Asked General Lawson skeptically. Not alone, Lisa admitted, but combined with strategic strikes against key command ships, specifically Xilari leadership vessels, we might cause enough confusion and mistrust to disrupt their coordination. Dr. Olivia Reed, who had joined from Mars via video link, spoke up. The Sentinel shield will be ready in 8 days. If we can delay their attack or weaken their unity before then, we'll have a much better chance. The plan was risky, but no one had a better idea. Earth began sending carefully crafted false intelligence through channels they knew the alien alliance monitored. Meanwhile, their few stealth ships prepared for surgical strikes against Xilari command vessels. Back in the Cygnus system, the Raven landed on the airless moon. Alan led a team of 4 to the surface wearing specialized suits. The Cynthium deposit was in a deep crater, exactly where the Meridian had said it would be. Begin extraction, Alan ordered. Keep it quick and quiet. As his team set up the mining equipment, Alan scanned the horizon. The cratered surface was eerily beautiful, lit by the gas giant looming in the sky. Then he noticed something strange, a structure half buried in the crater wall. Harris with me, he said to one of his team. The rest of you continue the extraction. Alan approached the structure carefully. It wasn't natural. The smooth metallic surface had symbols etched into it that matched nothing in his database. Sir, this looks like Meridian technology, Harris said, examining the symbols. According to the limited records we have. Alan frowned. What would Meridian tech be doing out here in disputed space? Before Harris could answer, their comms crackled. Commander, we have incoming. Multiple Volov ships just dropped out of faster-than-light travel. They're heading straight for us. Pack up now, Alan ordered. Everyone back to the ship. His team rushed to secure the Cynthium they'd already extracted. As they ran back to the Raven, Alan saw a Volov landing craft descending toward the moon's surface. How did they find us? Harris panted as they reached the ship. Alan had no answer, but a suspicion was forming in his mind. Had the Meridian sent them into a trap? Or was there something about this moon and that strange structure that the aliens were protecting? There was no time to consider it further. As the Raven lifted off, Volov ships moved to intercept them. Evasive maneuvers, Alan ordered, and prepare the new countermeasures. The Raven shot away from the moon, pursued by 3 Volov cruisers. They had the Cynthium, but getting it back to Earth would require all their skill and a considerable amount of luck. On Earth, Lisa received word that the first part of their psychological warfare campaign was working. A Krell battle group had broken formation after receiving intelligence that the Xilari planned to claim Krell territory after the war. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Now they just needed Alan to return with the Cynthium, and for Olivia to finish Project Sentinel in time. The clock was ticking. The main alien fleet was now just 12 days from Earth. The massive alien fleet appeared at the edge of Earth's solar system. Hundreds of warships from 8 different species moved in perfect formation. From the main command center beneath the Rocky Mountains, Admiral Reeves watched their approach on the large screens. Project Sentinel is ready, reported Dr. Olivia Reed. We've integrated the Cynthium Alan brought back. The shield generators are in position around the planet. Alan Dias stood nearby, still recovering from his mission. His ship had barely escaped the Volov cruisers, taking damage that killed 2 of his crew, but they had returned with enough Cynthium to power Sentinel. Begin activation sequence, ordered Admiral Reeves. Around the planet, massive generators hummed to life. Energy readings spiked as the system powered up. The technical team watched anxiously as the levels climbed. Reaching critical threshold, Olivia announced, Sentinel activating in 3, 2, 1. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then a faint, shimmering dome began to form in the atmosphere above Earth. It expanded rapidly, surrounding the entire planet. On the screens, readouts showed the shield was stable. It's working, Olivia exclaimed. Shield integrity at 98%. A cheer went up from the command center staff. Their first victory. The alien fleet approached cautiously. The first Xilari ships fired their weapons, powerful energy beams that had destroyed other human colonies. The beams hit Earth's new shield and dissipated harmlessly. They're trying different weapon configurations, reported a sensor officer. Nothing is penetrating the shield. Admiral Reeves allowed herself a small smile. Phase 1 complete. Now for Phase 2. Begin our counterattack. Earth's remaining fleet, hidden behind the moon, moved into position. They were fewer in number but had one advantage. Earth's ships were smaller and more maneuverable than the bulky alien cruisers. Target the command ships we identified, ordered Admiral Reeves. Hit and run tactics only. The human vessels darted out, firing precisely at specific Xilari command ships before retreating back to the shield's protection. The aliens, frustrated by their inability to penetrate Earth's defenses, began targeting the orbital platforms that powered Sentinel. Shield integrity dropping to 85%, warned Olivia. They'd figured out they need to take down the power network. How long can the shield hold? Asked Reeves. At this rate of attack, maybe 6 hours, Olivia replied grimly. Lisa Powell entered the command center with new intelligence. The Krell have completely withdrawn from the northern attack vector, she reported. Our misinformation campaign is working. They believe that Xilari plan to betray them once Earth is defeated. Good, but not enough, Reeves said. We need more dissension in their ranks. Lisa nodded. I need to speak directly with their commanders. That's too dangerous, Alan objected. It's our only chance, Lisa insisted. The shield won't hold forever. Admiral Reeves considered, then nodded. Do it. A communication channel was open to the alien fleet. Lisa stood before the camera, her diplomat's uniform crisp despite the chaos around her. This is Commander Lisa Powell of Earth, requesting to speak with the Alliance commanders. After a tense minute, the screen split to show several alien faces, the auxiliary leader in the center, flanked by commanders from other species. Your shield is impressive but temporary, said the auxiliary leader. Why waste time talking? Because you've been deceived, Lisa said calmly. She transmitted a data packet containing carefully selected information. These are records showing that auxiliary staged evidence against us. They manipulated you all into this war. The other alien commanders looked at the data, then at the auxiliary with suspicion. This is human trickery, the auxiliary insisted. Then explain why your forces are already claiming disputed Volith territories while this battle rages, Lisa countered, referring to false reports Earth had spread. The Volith commander hissed angrily. Is this true? Of course not, the auxiliary shouted, but doubt had been planted. As the aliens argued, Earth's forces launched another attack, targeting communication relays between the alien ships. The carefully coordinated alliance began to show cracks as ships from different species lost contact with each other. On the main screen, Lisa saw several Volith ships turn their weapons toward auxiliary vessels. It's working, whispered Alan. But then alarms blared throughout the command center. Shield integrity at 40%. Olivia called out. Multiple power nodes are failing. Despite the growing chaos in the alien fleet, they were still hammering Earth's defenses. The shield flickered visibly, sections beginning to fail. Admiral Reeves faced her officers. We've done what we can to divide them, but we need more time. Prepare all remaining ships for a direct assault on their main weapon platforms. It would be a desperate move, possibly sacrificing what remained of Earth's fleet to buy time for the shield to be repaired. As the human ships prepared for what might be their final battle, a new alert sounded. Multiple unknown ships detected entering the system, called out the sensor officer. Everyone froze, watching the screens. Had new enemies arrived to join the attack? All eyes in the command center focused on the main screen as the unknown ships approached. Their design was unlike anything humans or the Council species used, sleek, silvery vessels that seemed to flow through space rather than push through it. Meridian ships, Lisa whispered in recognition. The Meridian fleet positioned itself between Earth and the attacking aliens. The largest Meridian vessel broadcast a message to all ships in the area. This conflict ends now, came Ilara's melodic voice. The Galactic Council has been summoned to witness. Several more ships appeared, bearing the markings of the Council's neutral peacekeeping force. The attacking fleet hesitated, caught between continuing their assault and facing the unexpected witnesses. Taking advantage of the confusion, Admiral Reeves ordered Earth's remaining ships to target the alien weapons platforms that were damaging the shield generators. With precise strikes, they destroyed enough platforms to give Earth breathing room. Shield integrity stabilizing at 35%, reported Olivia. It won't hold against another coordinated attack, but it's buying us time. On the communication screen, a new figure appeared, the ancient Elnar leader of the Galactic Council. What is the meaning of this unauthorized military action? He demanded. The auxiliary commander spoke quickly. We are preventing a human threat as discussed in closed council sessions. Yet you bring no proof before the full council, Ilara countered. The Meridian have observed your deception. You manufactured evidence against humanity because you fear their potential. The humans were developing weapons, the auxiliary insisted. Lisa stepped forward. We have proof of auxiliary ships planting false evidence. She transmitted the data Frank Harris had sent before New Terra fell. We came to the council in peace. You chose war. The Elnar studied the evidence silently. Around Earth, the alien fleet was fragmenting further. The Volith ships had completely turned against the Xilari. 3 other species were withdrawing their forces. The alliance is breaking, Alan reported. Multiple ships are standing down or turning against the Xilari. The Xilari commander, seeing his forces abandoned, made a desperate final order. All remaining loyal ships, full attack on Earth's shield generators. Several Xilari cruisers charged forward, weapons blazing. Earth's fleet moved to intercept them, joined unexpectedly by Volith vessels, now eager to prove they had been deceived rather than willing participants. The battle was fierce but brief. The Xilari attack was defeated, though at a heavy cost. 3 more human ships were destroyed, along with several Volith vessels. As the fighting subsided, the Elnar spoke again. This council will reconvene to review all evidence. The Meridian's unexpected intervention suggests matters of great importance are at stake. A ceasefire is hereby ordered. 2 weeks later, Lisa Powell stood once more in the Galactic Council chambers. This time, she was not alone. Admiral Reeves and several other human leaders stood with her. The chamber was packed with representatives from all council species, plus the Meridian who had officially joined proceedings for the first time in centuries. The council has reviewed the evidence, the Elnar announced. The Xilari actions are condemned. Reparations to human colonies will be required. It was a victory, but Lisa knew it was a fragile one. Humanity had barely survived. New Terra and 2 other colonies remained under alien control, with thousands of humans still held captive. We seek not revenge, but a new path forward, Lisa said to the assembled representatives. Earth proposes a reformed council structure, with transparency as its foundation and mutual defense as its purpose. She outlined a new framework for relations between species, one that acknowledged fears but channeled them into cooperation rather than conflict. The Meridian spoke in support of the proposal. As the council members discussed the idea, Lisa stepped back to speak privately with Admiral Reeves. "Will it work?" Reeves asked quietly. "It has to," Lisa replied. "We've seen the alternative." Later, as the new accords were being drafted, Lisa visited a viewing platform overlooking the galaxy. Earth was still recovering, its shield generators now permanently installed as a precaution. Project Sentinel had been revealed to the Council as a gesture of trust, though humanity kept some advances secret. Alan Diaz joined her at the window. "The Meridian told me something interesting about that structure we found on the moon," he said. "It was an ancient warning beacon. They've been watching our region of space for signs of conflict for thousands of years." So they were never neutral observers, Lisa realized. They were guardians. Of a sort, Alan agreed. They believe each species has potential worth protecting. Lisa looked out at the stars. The battle had been won, but she knew humanity's greatest challenges and opportunities still lay ahead. They had earned their place among the stars through both strength and wisdom. Now they needed to keep it through the same qualities. "We came so close to extinction," she murmured. "But we didn't just survive," Alan said. "We changed the game." As a new Galactic Council took shape, humanity prepared for whatever might come next. They would be ready.